Hello, this is the Ground Sloth. This is part 4 in the video series going over Xavier as a unit. Today, we're going to look at only one half of Xavier's solo carry trait. We're going to go over the attack percentage increase. For each enemy within a range of 2 tiles around Xavier, his attack increases by 5% up to 20%. This is a 2-star. This goes up to 6% to 24, 7 to 28, maxing out at 8% to 32% at 5-star. Now, attack percent increase. Let's take a look at how this functions in battle. So when we look at Xavier, you'll notice that through his gear and through his skills, there's nothing that increases his attack percentage, or his attack stat right now. It's only when we get close to enemies that we'll start seeing a difference. So let's go ahead and let's teleport Xavier. Now, we'll put him next to 2 enemies right now. Look at that increase. He went from about 2,800 to about 3,100, you know, in some change. It even increased his magic stat, right? Because it is an attack increase, right? He got smarter, I think. But essentially, that's with 2 enemies. Let's take a look at this change. When we put him closer. So here, Xavier is near 1, 2, 3 enemies. So he'll do a good amount of damage. I'm going to go ahead and use Comet Dash, right? And show that when you use a charge skill like Comet Dash, it charges and then calculates your attack percentage of solo carry from where you end up in your dash. So for here, if I choose to attack and end up right in front of myself, notice how I don't actually kill him. I don't kill him because I would end up out of range from any sort of unit. If I decide to charge dash close to him so that it procs my solo carry, notice that the HP goes down even more. As I get closer, right, the damage, like they start to die, right? So as I approach and get closer, more of these units are in range. Now that we know that, let's take a look here. This is not going to kill any of them, right? Is what it says, because it's calculating my attack stat from getting only 1 benefit of solo carry. However, if I make sure that Xavier ends 2 spots in front after the dash, that will give him the same damage as if he was right here, and that should kill them. Let's find out. Does it kill him or not kill him? It kills them. And since it kills them, that means, well, it killed me too. But because it killed them, that definitely means that the movement happens first. Then the game calculates your attack percentage of solo carry from his new position, then calculates the damage based on that. Okay? So, we're gonna go ahead and quit that. We're almost done with this portion of solo carry, because there's two portions to it. Now that attack increase, so it's really important when we look at Xavier's trait. There it is at 5 stars, okay? It goes up to 32%. Now, the number that you see here, 2847, that is a stat that is a combination of all your flat attack from your gear and your percentage increases from a lot of sources. But this is the stat that you go into combat with. Solo carry increases this stat, this number, by 8 up to 32%, right? So that's what you saw in that combat. There are only a few attack percentages in the game that occur in combat. That includes buffs you get in combat. That includes traits that characters have. That includes passives like Risky Move. And that's it. So when you have a passive that increases your attack by 20%, you can't compare that to maybe an engraving that gives you 11%, right? Or if you had 20% of an engraving, a 20% engraving is not as powerful as a 20% on a passive, because this number applies to your final stat total here. Whereas these percentage numbers, this 11%, that 7%, if you take a look in the right corner, this attack percent, that 3%, and then also your talent tree. Like these percents, they all scale off your base stat. What's your base stat? Your base stat is all of the stats that you get from your level, your star upgrades, and your ranks. This is Xavier's base stats at max level, rank, and star upgrade. Okay? So it's about 1,500. So all those multipliers multiply to your base stat, then you add your flat attack, and you get whatever number you get here. Okay? The only exceptions that don't apply there are from traits, from passive skills, and sometimes there are gear skills. Okay? Let's look at an example of a gear skill. Here, increase physical attack by 3%. A gear skill is applied in combat. So, although 3% may not seem like much, 3% is effectively a stronger 3% than a 3% you would get from other sources. That's why attack buffs in this game come in like 10% increments, because it really boosts a lot of your damage, because that's a 10% increase in your attack stat that's been inflated by a flat amount. Okay? All right. I only have one more thing left to say about Xavier's solo carry. And that's to say that I believe after looking at every legendary character's trait, Xavier has the highest percentage attack currently in the game. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Ready? Actually, let's make this another video. Alright, bye!